actions will be.
और इस वक्त ये जो सीधी तस्वीरें आ रही हैं, ये जम्मू से हम आपको ये सीधी तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं। दरअसल पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जो गोलीबारी हो रही थी उसमें जवान जो शहीद हो गए थे उन्हें अब आखिरी सलाम दिया जाए। रीप्लेइंग सेरेमनी की ये तस्वीरें। लेट्स गो अक्रॉस टू आवर सीनियर एडिटर प्रदीप जॉइनिंग अस फ्रॉम दैट स्पॉट। यस प्रदीप, ओवर टू यू। Pradeep, if you can hear me, please go ahead.
See, right now the evening ceremony has started on a Radha to sacrifice his life while defending the borders of this country. Hazra was posted at Samba sector when all of the sudden unprovoked shelling from Pakistan side started. Pakistan armed rangers opened fire. He was on duty. People like Hazra are in fact an inspiration and motivation for thousands of the youth in India. It is because of them that people of country can sleep in peace. They stand like wall before the hail of bullets. And that is what exactly R.P. Hazra did. He took the bullets on his chest to ensure that these terrorists were not able to infiltrate into this side of the border. Because there were reports that a group of about 8 terrorists, they were camping on a launch pad which was close to the Pakistani Rangers post in Samba sector. And late last night, all of a sudden, there was a firing from Pakistan side. R.P. Hazra was hit on the chest before he could be evacuated to the hospital. He has come to his injuries. And this is in fact, the 7th ceasefire violation since January 1, and more than 850 ceasefire violations have taken place since January 1, 2016. And right now, the wreathing ceremony of this brave heart is being organized here at Baloda BSF headquarters. All the senior BSF as well as the administrative officials are present there to lay the wreath and to pay homage to this brave heart. And what can be more unfortunate? Yesterday was his birthday when this incident took place, and everybody was expecting, in fact, had been greeting him and wishing him, but nobody had thought that on the very same day, that will not only be his birthday, but also the day of the martyrdom too. He sacrificed. That shows the mettle of the Indian soldiers and the BSF personnel, the men in uniform. That at any cost, there is a commitment that is which they make with each and everyone in the country, that at any cost they are going to serve the nation. Till last breath, they will serve the nation. And that is what actually R.P. Hazra has did. Despite his birthday, he was on duty. Morning, his family members just called him and they wished him on this occasion. And he was telling them that in next month he will be coming back home. But nobody had thought that this was his martyrdom day too. And all of a sudden, there was a sniping incident from the Pakistani post. After that, BSF retaliated and they gave a very strong response. And they, in fact, blasted 2 of the enemy mortar positions that had been targeting Indian force. We have seen that since yesterday there have been 4 ceasefire violations. First there was a ceasefire violation in the Samba sector. Within half an hour, they opened mouths of their guns in Hiranagar sector. And after that, there was a firing in Digwar area along the line of control also. One intruder that was trying to infiltrate into this side in Arnia subsector today morning was gunned down by the BSF personnel. BSF troops are on high alert on the border. And no doubt this is in fact nobody can in fact fulfill the void that is being created by the martyrdom of this soldier. For family member, it is going to be an irreparable loss, but it's also a proud moment for the country that we have got such soldiers that we in fact have an unsigned commitment with the countrymen that at any cost they will be serving the nation. And that is what actually R.P. Hazra has done. After the evening ceremony, his body will be sent to his native place in West Bengal. And this is, in fact, the 850th ceasefire violation since January last year. And we have seen that after the United States of America name-checked and warned Pakistan and accused it of lie and deceit, there's a level of frustration and desperation. We have seen that Pakistan is trying to, in fact, escalate the situation on the border. The firing is not only confined to the international border, but it has spread to the line of control too. There was a shelling, in fact, in Digwar area. They have been targeting civilian areas. And then whenever they fail to match the military might of Indian Army, they target civilians. That has been the strategy of Pakistan. Information is that about 150 terrorists are waiting at several launch pads along the line of control as well as international border, looking for an opportune moment and green signal to sneak into this side of the border. But every time alert BSF as well as army person had been thwarted in their nefarious design. Yesterday also there was a group of 8 terrorists, the Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists, who were camping along in a launch pad which was close to the Samba sector, and that was the reason that Pakistan Rangers and the army was trying to provide them cover fire so that they can take advantage of the darkness as well as dense fog to push in terrorists into this side of the border. But alert BSF personnel, including RP Hazra, they were there. They took the bullets from their chest. They, in fact, gave them a befitting reply to ensure that enemy was not able to succeed in their nefarious design of pushing in terrorists into this side of the border. We have seen that the troops are, in fact, dominating the situation when it comes to Kashmir Valley. More than 250 terrorists have been killed during the last 6 months, and that has, in fact, given a major dent to most of the terror outfits like Lashkar-e-Toiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, and they are falling short of hands. And that is one of the reasons that Pakistan is making desperate attempts to push in terrorists so that they can keep winter hot. Already there are intelligence inputs that Pakistan is planning a spectacular attack either in the Srinagar city or in the Jammu city, and this ceasefire violation is seen that way. The troops are on high alert, and right now you can see the evening ceremony at the Somber. One can see, in fact, the tears in the eyes of his colleagues also, because he was the one who, since his childhood, wanted to don a uniform. He was in fact a great motivation and inspiration for his colleagues also, RP Hazra. And after death also, he will continue to remain motivation and inspiration for thousands of the youth in the country who will don uniform to serve nation. And that is what actually is the Indian soldier made up of. That, in fact, sets an example for many others to follow. Very few people can do that in any of the countries you can see. That people are ready to sacrifice their life for the nation. They are there like a wall on the line of control, whether it's a counterinsurgency operation, whether it's a counter-infiltration. They are trying to maintain that at any cost, and that is what actually people like Hazra are doing. And this is the second, in fact, the martyrdom 3 days back, one Jagseet Singh, who had sacrificed his life along the line of control in Poonch sector. And last night it was RP Hazra who succumbed to the injuries when he was sniped at by the Pakistani Rangers. And after that, in fact, BSF gave a befitting reply, and already the message has been sent to the commanders on the ground that any kind of misadventure for Pakistan side, demolish and decimate their post. And that is what exactly BSF did last night. They destroyed 2 of their mortar positions, both in Samba sector as well as in Hiranagar area. Firing continued for about several hours. They were pounding 62 and 82 mm mortar shell and mostly targeting the civilian areas. Police and the administration had real tough time evacuating the villagers who were stuck up in areas close to the Hiranagar sector. 50 of them were, in fact, evacuated in the bunker vehicle, which is a bulletproof vehicle, in that they were taken to the safer places. Right now, though, there is an every calm, but there is an alert on the border, because India very well understands that Pakistan is not going to change its strategy and instrument of using terror as a tool against India. And we have seen that Pakistan, United States of America have rightly said that, in fact, Donald Trump, very strongest message said that Pakistan is all about deceit and lies. During the last 36 hours, there had been 2 warnings to Pakistan, both from the White House as well as Donald Trump, that they are going to block the aid, because Pakistan had been playing a kind of a double game, and this double game is really costing them more, and they are going to stop that economic aid which they had been giving to Pakistan. Despite all these things, Pakistan is now trying to have the sham crackdown on many of the charities being run by Hafiz Saeed, while as Times Now was able to access the visuals in which we could see that Hafiz Saeed was rubbing shoulders with the security personnel. That clearly indicates that Pakistan is continuously protecting, shielding, and promoting terror on their side, and they will continue with those things, but not realizing that these terrorists are going to be Frankenstein monster for them in longer run. It will be real danger to Pakistan than to India. And already we have seen that Pakistan is a clientele state. They are not only dependent on the economic aid from United States of America, but also the crumbs which they are getting from China. But despite not being self-sufficient, instead of focusing on their economic development, their main focus remains to push in terror into the Indian side. But during the last 30 years, we have seen that many soldiers have sacrificed their life. That is what actually hurts. And when some of the politicians try to play politics over the issue of the security, And they often keep on batting for dialogue process with Pakistan, not realizing that there are many families who are losing their near and dear one. It is not only the sacrifice of people like Aarti Hazare, but it's also the sacrifice of the family members that who are living away from there. They are the one who are taking care of the family in absence of their husbands, brothers, sons. And that is what actually, and in most of the cases, the people who are deployed on the border, they are the lone breadwinners. So, no doubt that the army as well as the BSF take care of the family of the soldiers after the martyrdom too. But there are so many things which the family members, in fact, are looking ahead to, and they all that they respect.
भारत माता की जय, 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 आरती हाजरा, आरती हाजरा, आरती हाजरा, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, आरती हाजरा, भारत माता की